So, my name is Gia. I'm one of the co-founders of Powerhouse Women. I'm going to give a quick intro to Meg, and I'm going to hand the reins off to her. Myself and Morgan will kind of moderate the chat. There will be time at the end for questions. But first and foremost, Meg Manzo is not only a credit repair specialist, business funding specialist. She's also a licensed realtor in the state of Massachusetts. She is also on our team at Compass House of Giovanna here in the greater Boston area. And she is also like a sister to me. And you guys are in for a treat with this society session. So without further ado, Miss Megan, I will let
Thank
you.
you so much. I want to also thank you, Gia, for allowing me to share this space with you and, give value and game to the women in business and, women that are looking to get into business. So, with further ado, we'll get into this, what to expect on this call. We're going to talk about, my history on like my relationship with Gia, why I got into real estate, why I got into credit repair and business funding, the nitty-gritties of what it takes to be an entrepreneur, especially a woman in business. I feel like time and time again, I've seen so many women deal with the same thing and they don't really know until like other women are talking about it. Aside from that, we're going to be talking about, understanding credit, the basics, credit tips, bank relationships, services I provide, and then, an opportunity to connect. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Windham, New Hampshire. I went to Central Catholic. I played lacrosse like my entire life. I committed to Stonehill for my freshman year in college, and then I transferred over to Suffolk in downtown Boston to study law. And then, believe it or not, I transferred my career over to real estate, which I'm so happy I did that. I just felt like I was really confined in a box with my creativity and I wasn't able to really fully express myself, and real estate gave me that opportunity. I want to know also how many other people in the chat are in real estate. If you could just drop like a 1 in the chat if you're in real estate, and then anybody, if you're a loan officer or looking to start a business, just, drop something in the chat and let me know what you're looking to do or what you currently do. Let's see.
Got a lot
Awesome.
of realtors,
A lot of realtors. That's great.
real estate industry, an
Mm-hmm.
optometrist,
Wow. That's awesome.
credit.
Holly, my girl Holly, she does credit too. She's also a part of Dreams to Reality, which is my man's business. Awesome. All right. Great. Awesome. So I met Gia back in 2022 when I got this idea. I was like, I need an out with law. Like, I can't stand another day. I have to get out. So I contacted and met up with one of my old friends from high school, and she was dating somebody on the Patriots. She got a house through Gia's old team, and ironically enough, they thought something with the transaction so well about Gia that my friend Kayla, referred me back to Gia. Found Gia's page. I DM'd her a few times and it ended up in the requests part of the DMs. And I was like, I love your page. You seem like you're really experienced. I'd love to learn from you. Like, I'll work for you for free if, you give me some mentorship. Let's meet and chat and see how, we can connect. I didn't hear back from her and I was like, oh, I got to start liking her stuff, like blowing up her phone. And then finally she gets back to me and we met up in Boston. I think it was at the Pink Carrot, right, G?
I did
Was it
go
at the Pink Carrot? Yeah.
there.
So we met up there and we instantly clicked. It was like a no-brainer just to be like, yes, I'm working with Gia and nobody else. And She was like, I'm starting a new team. I'm actually transferring brokerages. I have this whole vision and I'd love for you to be a part of it. And I think you'd be a great fit. So, and she was like, all you need to do is get your real estate license, do the 40 hours, and then, on board at Compass. I put in my 2 weeks that day. I was like, I got to go. So after that, I got my real estate license. We've been together ever since. It's been one hell of a journey. And we're going to talk about, what it really takes to be an entrepreneur. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background on, the mindset and what it took for me to really understand what it really is like to be an entrepreneur. So aside from that, after I've been in real estate for a few years, I ended up thinking, why not add to my value? Let's see what else I can do. I contacted my old friend, which is now my man, and I was like, hey, like, I need something. I need an extra stream of income. Something about me, I've always maintained like 2 to 4 jobs. Even ask Gia, like, she's seen me work so many jobs, whether it's restaurants, nightlife, nannying jobs, little side gigs here and there. I'm doing Uber Eats on the side on any given hour that I can. I've always been big in the hustle, the grind, testing my limits, all of those things. And that's when I started credit repair. And I didn't realize how much knowledge there is out there that we just aren't taught in school. We're not taught at college or in high school, or sometimes even from our parents, because our parents don't even know about credit. And even as like a lot of real estate agents in this chat, how you can utilize credit. There's so many times where we have clients where they have a horrible credit score and they can't get an apartment, or they can't get a car, or they can't get approved for a loan because their credit is just shot. And going off of that, sorry, I'm just putting this up so I can read my screen. I'm going to get into this too, what it takes to be an entrepreneur, because I'm already talking about this now. So with credit being an opportunity to, not only make you look better as an agent, it's another stream of income as well. So now I'm going to get into the nitty-gritties of, what it really takes to be an entrepreneur. You have to have an unshakable mindset. Success starts internally. You have to be what you see all the time on social media is delulu. Like, you have to be so delusional about your goals and your aspirations that like people look at you like, what is wrong with you? You have to get to that mindset. Discipline over motivation. What I want some people to drop, if you have and know your why wholeheartedly, drop your why in the chat, and I'll give you mine right after. Let's see. I'll give it a minute or two. Freedom. Yeah, I like that. She said, the best at what I do, so I wanted to do it better than everyone else. My family, that's a great one. Give a 3-year-old. Help other people as much as I possibly can to change the world for the better. That's awesome. I love all of these. My why is my younger self. I felt like in my life, I went through, everybody has a story. Everybody has, things that they've gone through. I felt like as a child, I abandoned myself and didn't have a lot of boundaries, and, gave myself the room to really stand up for myself in a lot of situations. And I feel like doing all the things that I was scared to do as a child, whether it's standing up, having strong boundaries, being that strong woman that I needed as a child, I'm becoming that person. And it is a little cliche, some will say, but it really is my younger self. That's what pushes me every single day. I think about the little girl in me that, needed a lot more. And I want to become that woman for myself, my future family, and, other women out there that are struggling. So aside from that, oh, that's great. Thank you. I'm going to close the chat so I can see my screen. Discipline. A lot of people think that discipline is, you're going in this straight line. It's like you're hitting every mark. Discipline is like it's a work in progress. You can be on point for 3 days or 3 months straight and then, take a little dip. Then you're back up 3 months again. It's going like this. I don't know if you guys have seen that little Instagram reel where it's these two balls and one has like this line where the ball can go straight. And then there's another one that's like this. The one that gets to the finishing line faster is actually the one that has the curves. So don't be afraid and don't be discouraged for all the ups and downs that you may encounter as an entrepreneur. Resilience through rejection. I love this one. I have resilience tatted on my hand for a reason. You have to be strong, especially as a woman in business. You have to be strong. You have to, deal with all the outside pressures of being a woman in itself, and then all the outside pressures of, men wanting a different type of relationship with you outside of business. It's a tough game to play. And that also ties into, balancing your masculine and your feminine energy. You have to really think and move like a man in any sort of entrepreneur industry. I have my rule where it's like I have a 4 p.m. rule. If you're trying to meet up with me for business, it's before 4 p.m. We can meet for coffee, we can meet for lunch, but if it's anything after that, it's a no-go. I cannot stress how many times I have been so disappointed at the beginning where I've had great conversations with clients where they're like, "Oh, I really need your help finding this commercial space. Oh, I really need your help finding this house. I have a $35 million budget, but I'd like to mix business and pleasure." No, you have to be strong with your boundaries, firm when you're negotiating, and soft in leadership in a sense because, you don't want to give off being too much of like a man. You're a woman, embrace it. Be in your feminine as well as your masculine. Networking and sisterhood. I love this one. A big part of my journey was when I first got into real estate. The number one thing that Gia always pounded in my head was put your name next to your business, and always like when people think about real estate, they better think of your name and see your face. And that's what I took to a whole different level. Like I was in restaurants handing out receipts with my business cards that weren't even like fully done yet. I was writing on receipts, writing my contact information, pitching myself to every single person. Even when I went out with my friends, like say I went to the club, I'd carry a pack of business cards and I would just hand out. I'd make it a goal to make a connection with 30 people every single night and gain at least 10 followers. That's where a lot of traction came from. I became, the woman that's upcoming in Boston, a young entrepreneur known as the connector, um, for networking. I made a lot of great connections for a long time in the nightlife and, having a lot of jobs. Authenticity and emotional intelligence. Hold on one second. When it comes to being a woman in business, your emotional intelligence, you got to stay calm. You can't just react to everything. There's going to be so much hate and there's going to be a lack of support from your friends, your family. Gia and I talk about this all the time. You can't be discouraged because when you don't have the results yet, it's like we hope for family to support you and your friends to support you, but it's not realistic. And a lot of us are looking for, the motion of the ocean, but we're still hanging around people that are in the whirlpool. and you gotta change your environment and not be mad at the friends that are hanging out in the whirlpool when you're trying to sail out to the ocean. So that's a big one that I learned in my journey. You got to change your environment and not feel bad about it. But aside from that, let's get into credit. It's the big one. What is credit? Credit is the key to financial freedom if you use it right, if you do it right. There's so many different hacks, there's so many different ways you can make money. You know, it's a lot easier to get 50K from the bank or in credit than it is to go make 50K tomorrow. In simple terms, credit is access. Strong credit opens doors to better rates, higher limits, and more opportunities. While poor credit can, limit your financial options and cost you so much more in the long run. What makes up your credit score? There's 5 key factors. The biggest one is your payment history, which makes up 35% of your score. Then there's accounts owned, which is 30%. Length of credit history is 15. Credit mix is 10%, and then new credit is also 10%. Together, all these factors, shape your credit worthiness, and it's basically what lenders and banks determine how much you are given, whether it's for a credit card or a loan. All right, this is a big one as well. Report versus your score. A lot of people think like, oh, I have a 780 credit score. Why am I not being approved for these things? I was also in that boat. I had like a 798 or 789, I don't know, but I only had a 5K credit limit. I had no mix. I had lack of history. I didn't have a lot of age on my account. And I didn't have any other cards. Lenders want to see a great report. So think about like how the educational system grades you. You have your GPA and then you have all your grades. Think of your GPA as your score and then your report as all the assignments that you had, whether you were graded an A or a B or C or whatever. It's the same way that they score your credit. Your score is the numerical representation of your credit worthiness. It ranges from 300 to 850. And then there's 2 different scores. It's the FICO or Vantage score. We'll get into that later on. It is a little confusing. I'm not going to confuse you guys and go into like the FICO 8, the FICO 4, all of that stuff. It's too much. And then your report is the detailed record that explains how that score is actually calculated. All right, why do we see 3 different scores? This is such a common question, and honestly, I didn't even understand this until I got into the credit space. You have your Experian, Equifax, and then TransUnion. They collect and report credit data independently. So why you see different scores is because certain lenders and certain banks only report to certain credit bureaus. And also timing's a key factor. So they may report a different 30-day schedule than a different credit bureau. So that's why you see the difference in scores. And, addresses come into play. If you moved and there's certain discrepancies between the reporting. So that's why you see, 3 different scores. Credit tips and the roadmap to a 750. One is keeping your utilization low. Always aim to use just 1 to 9% of your credit limit. A lot of people say, keep it 30% or under, but banks actually want to see if you're looking to get funding 1 to 9%. Never miss payments. This is a huge one. Like if you see your score tank, it's likely because you missed a payment. The higher your score is, the more points are deducted when you miss a payment, whether it's a 30, 60, or 90-day late payment. It's kind of the same with the GPA. I mean, when I was in college, I remember evaluating this differently. Like the higher my GPA was, and if I got just one A minus, it would tank it like point 0.4 or something like that. But the lower it is, they don't tank it as much. So you will see with a 60 or a 30-day late payment, when your score is at like a 750, it can drop at 80 to 100 points versus like if you're at a 650, it might drop at, 30 to 60. Um, Number 3, age your accounts. Don't close old credit cards even if you don't use them. Obviously, like I talked about before, it makes up 15% of your score. So you want to have a lot of age on your account to, that's like an easy check one, easy check mark. Diversify your credit mix. You want to have credit cards, you want to have auto loans, you want to have mortgages. This shows lenders you can handle different types of debt responsibly. It's like if you only have a 5K credit card and you can't even pay that down, or you maxed it out, which honestly we've all done. I've done it before. But what is going to make them think that you can handle paying back $100,000? That's where what the banks really look at is your responsibility with how much you are given already and how much you're looking for. Right. Let me move this. Number 5, you're going to want to limit hard inquiries. Anytime you apply for something, like if you're going to different car dealerships and you're applying, those are inquiries. You're applying for credit cards, those are inquiries. You're going to put those on and they're going to tank your score a little bit. So that's another key thing to avoid. Just limit them to, 2 to 3 a year. Leverage trade lines. A lot of people don't know what trade lines are. If you're looking for a credit boost, the easiest way to do it is go find your mom or dad or a trusted source, friend, cousin, sister, brother, whoever it is that has great credit history, no missed payments, a great credit score. Ask them to add you as an authorized user. You can even, bargain with them and say, hey, like, add me as an authorized user. I won't use the card at all. You can keep the card when it's shipped in the mail, but I just need it to, build my credit report so I look better when it comes time to when I want to, rent an apartment or buy a property. You're going to want to also be consistent with all of these steps. It's a lot easier said than done because, times have been tough in this market and world nowadays. Everything's a lot more expensive, but, if you can limit and budget and stay consistent, do auto pay so you don't miss a payment. Those little actions go a long way. All right, and I'm going to get into what we can remove, what you can remove. This is amazing, and a lot of people don't know about this. You're going to be blown away with a lot of the things that I'm going to list, and this is only half of them. Late payments, we can remove 30 days, 60-day, or 90-day late payments, all of them that are inaccurate or unverifiable. Where there's a will, there is a way. Collections. One thing about collections that I always say is, and student loans, we can remove them off your report. Credit repair is to make you look good on paper, right? So we can remove them, but that doesn't mean you don't owe the debt still. You just owe the person that you did business with. If you don't care about doing business with them, take it up with God. I don't know anything. That's on you guys. But we can remove it from your report. So with that being said, it makes, if you have a ton of late payments, collections make you look like you just don't pay anything that you're serviced for. It's great to remove it off. I've had a collection before, maybe a few, don't know, but we got them removed. Another thing is medical bills. We can remove hard inquiries, charge-offs, bankruptcies, foreclosures, repossessions, judgments, tax liens, and the list goes on. Student loans, old addresses, fraudulent accounts, duplicate accounts, incorrect balances or limits, closed accounts reported as open, accounts with inaccurate dates, settled accounts still showing a balance, accounts past the statute of limitations, and inaccurate employment information. Bank relationships. You're going to want to do this if you're going to want to do, business funding or personal funding. You're going to want to establish a great relationship with banks because that is your way into building your reputation and potentially getting a large sum of money from the banks. You're not going to just go into Chase Bank and say, "Hey, I'm looking for, I want to have 100K, 150K in credit cards. Can I start today? Can I apply for those today?" They're going to look at you and be like, "Well, do you have, a business bank account with us? Do you have a personal bank account with us?" They're not likely going to approve you if you're not already like working with them or show that you're at least if you're not responsible with your money, let alone don't have a relationship with them, it's not likely that you're going to get approved. You're going to want to set yourself up, which I'm going to teach you later in this PowerPoint on how to set yourself up properly for funding. All right, services I offer. So the whole point of this call, this is my business, Magnus Mayor. I started it last year in, I want to say September. It's been a beautiful journey and it's helped me a lot with building relationships with my real estate clients as well as a lot of people that, just have been following me. My whole goal is to better position people so they can obtain their goals faster. So the things that we didn't learn in school or from our parents or from even sometimes social media, not everything's out there. So we can, build and grow together and see how much potential is really out there for yourself. All right, there's three different services that I have. Excuse me. I have credit repair, I have funding, and then I have 2 different types of partnerships. So these are my credit repair packages. For those of you that are realtors or, just looking to become an affiliate, you're going to want to know this. And I can also send you the slides and the information after if you're looking for more information on these. I have standard, express, and VIP express. Think of these as, the duration. This one's 6 to 9 months. It's a little bit slower. Express is 3 to 5 months, and then VIP is 30 days or less. Every client I look at differently. I have a typical standard price for each, but depending on how much they have on their report, it may take longer and a lot more work. So, that's when the price goes up a little bit. Each round of disputes sent out to the credit bureaus for all of these, except for VIP Express. That's an internal connect that we have with Experian. Takes 45 to 60 days for results for the first round. We do 4 rounds per client for standard. And then for Express, it's 3 to 5 months. We dispute all the negative items at once for the fastest and most efficient results. With all of these packages, credit coaching is also included. So, you get the credit boosters, what to look out for, how much you should be paying down on your credit cards if you have a certain limit or you're maxed out, a game plan for that. It's basically like, how do I put this? Like your financial assistant and credit coach at the same time. All right, for funding. Why funding? There's 2 options. You can do business or you can do personal. It's really to unlock the capital that you need to grow, invest, and scale. You could use business funding to invest into your first location if you're looking to start a clothing store, or, use those funds to start a website and pay for branding for your clothing line, all of those things, social media ads, you can utilize those. And the best part about business funding is you pay 0% interest for the first 12 to 18 months. And it does not report on your personal credit. So it's not like you're paying interest. And it's not like if you miss a payment, it's going to affect your personal credit. What we do on the funding side is we, review your report to see if you meet the criteria. We talk about, your goals for funding, what you're looking to do with the funding, if you're an actual candidate for funding. If you're not, we put you through credit repair. By leveraging strong credit, we help secure the capital needed to grow and scale businesses, or just get people capital in general if they're looking to, just get a higher limit on their credit card. Funding requirements for Chase, you have to have a 720 plus credit score, no derogatory marks, or late payments. Your utilization has to be under 15%, and you have to have at least 2 credit cards open for a year. Each one of these, for whatever funding service that we provide, we take a 10% commission off of whatever number that you're funding. So say, we get you $50,000 worth of funding. You pay us 10% of that, no matter what the number is. Bank of America, 700 plus credit score, no collections, charge-offs, or bankruptcies, 2 to 3 inquiries or less per bureau, and then minimum 4 years of credit history. Service charge is also 10%. And then US Bank is a 700 plus credit score, no negative remarks on credit profile. And then you have a personal guarantee required, must apply in the branch, and service charge is also 10%, like I said. All right, partnerships. Becoming an affiliate with my company, there's 3 different ways that you can make money. It's through credit clients, those 3 packages, you make 20% off of whatever I close them on. So say if I close an express client for $1,000, you make 20% of that, and that's automatically Zelled to you with a screenshot of whatever I close them on. Funding clients, you will get 20% of my percentage, whatever my split is when I out of the 10%. So say I'm splitting with 2 people that worked on your profile, whatever that small percentage is given towards me, I give you 20% of that. And then franchises, which I'm going to get into if you're looking to do exactly what I do. Anybody that you refer to me that's looking to become a CEO and, start their own credit repair business, I will give you 20% of that. All right, and the best part, becoming a CEO. If you partner with me, you get a huge community that's extremely welcoming of all like-minded individuals that, where if you want to start your business, you have somebody that can connect you to somebody who does LLCs, who does CRMs, automations, branding, logos, websites, VAs, you name it. It's basically a business in a box. My partner, he created this entire blueprint and has worked on it extremely hard for years. And I've seen him scale and grow and turn a lot of people that have started with nothing and turn them into millionaires. It's been an incredible thing to watch. It's been amazing to witness over 7 years of being his friend and now his partner. But aside from that, you're buying into a business blueprint. It's already been tested and refined. From day one, you have access to tools, resources, and strategies that have helped hundreds of others build 6-figure businesses. There's some people in this community that are making $46,000 a month just off of credit repair. They've done the grunt work, they've done the advertising, they've done the whole 9 yards of everything. And some people have done that within 2 years, 1 year. There's another person that's making $30,000 a month, $36,000 a month consistently through credit repair. You're not alone in this journey either. There's about 500 people in the community. Everybody talks in a chat, asking questions. There's AI that's available to you as well. So any credit questions that you have, you can shoot the AI a question. It's called Jarrell AI. It literally sounds like my man. It's actually kind of crazy. But the best part about all of this is we service. D2R services your clients. So it's as easy as, you get on a phone call with somebody that's looking for credit repair and you go through the report. you have all of the back end team's contacts, you have scripts, everything laid out. So it's an easy conversation. You ask what people's goals are. You come up with a game plan. You review their report. They make a payment. They're onboarded. The back end team services them, sends out the letters, and knows all the laws and regulations in order to dispute anything and everything off of somebody's report. Let's see. So there's 3 different things in the community on how to become a CEO. Typical is the franchise model, which a lot of people start out as. Think of like a small, medium, and large fry. Starter, you pay $5,000 one-time payment. Payment plans are available. You keep 70% of all standard sales, and then you send 30% to the back-end team for servicing your clients. And then you have a $400 express broker fee that goes if you sell an express package, say for $1,000, you send $400 to the back end, or you could sell it for $2,000. You pick your prices. You have your own name, your own logo, your own business email, website, all the whole 9 yards. You just have a servicing team that you have to pay $400 to. You get access to weekly calls, personal credit backend team, which I discussed, and then you get discounted broker services, and then you get your own free credit repair. So there's nothing better than, being a product of the product. You actually get to see what it's like being a client, so you can, show your clients your own results. Then there's the middle package. It's the pro package. You pay $2,000 a month in order to own 100% of your profit for the standard express. And then VIP is a little bit different, but we don't have to get into that. So with that, you still get access to weekly calls. You get a personal credit backend team still, and discounted broker services, and you get free express credit repair. Agency is like the big ballers, the people that are making $4,000, triple $4,000 a month. People that are making $30,000 a month. Some people aren't even making that and still paying the $4,000 a month because they are seeing that it's worth the investment. It's a 100% profit model. Basically, you have your own agency where you can run and gain more credit franchises. So all of those 30% go to you now. So it's all of these packages are lining you up in order to really become and start kind of your own community under D2R. All right, and I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining this call. That also for any of the packages that I listed here, there's a complimentary 50% off for standard and express credit repair. If you need your credit fixed, I'm more than happy to help you out. And then the CEO packages as well, 50% off of those. And then just use this code. It's good for a week. You can text it to me and I will get you onboarded, or we can, come up with a game plan, whether you're looking for funding, get credit repair, become an affiliate, or become your own CEO. And here is my contact information here. Right here, and my IG. Please, please, if you're not already following me on IG, I'd love to follow you guys. And I'm just seeing some of the questions here.
I was gonna say, Meg, if you wanna go into questions, there's a good question. What do you recommend for business funding for realtors? I've had a hard time finding things that don't exempt real estate agent.
I would say, the best place in order well, what are you looking to do with real estate funding? Like, are you looking for your own personal brand business funding, or are you looking for funding in order to invest into a property?
So I am a solo agent and I'm looking to expand my volume that I can take on because I'm currently at a maximum amount of listings that I can leverage at any time without hurting my own liquidity. And because real estate is already perceived as volatile, I'm having a hard time figuring out where to get additional access to capital, that's not a credit card.
So what I would do with that is I would take it a different route, because obviously real estate gets a little bit tricky. If you're looking for like an actual like whole funding from like a bank where they give you a loan, that's a little bit different, but utilizing credit where you could gain a lot of capital through business funding and credit, I would start a different LLC. You can name it whatever you'd like. Um, and if you have the good credit report, I would reach out to Chase to start, a personal account, and then eventually once you have your LLC, start a business account and gain that capital through that. So, you gain that time with the credit cards and you gain that money as well that you don't have to work extremely hard for. That's what I would do.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Anybody else have questions? Feel free to unmute yourself and chat it up with me too.
I do have a question. I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but I guess I was just wondering, like, how do you really build your community? For me, I'm the only one who that I really know that like owns a business besides my boyfriend, and like that's why I love to like, watch your page and I wanted to join this. Like, I just want to kind of build that community, but I don't even know where to start. I guess the people I've been friends with forever, they're not business people, so it's almost like I'm very isolated.
It's a lonely journey. It really is. It really, really is. But it's worth it in the long run. I swear it really is. I've seen it watching my man build his business. It was very lonely for him at the beginning, and then now he has a community of 500 plus people. It's incredible. But honestly, don't overcharge too quickly for your business. Don't be afraid to give a lot of sales out, because those sales turn into referrals and those referrals turn into more business. So with that, I would also like, if you're looking for more community based versus, sales, what I've seen a lot of people do that are looking to build a community is they have a lot of results in order to gain that community. They're like it's creating a lot of curiosity of like, oh, what is this person doing? They have so many clients, they have so many results. Like, I want to learn what they're doing. And then you can create a coaching program in order to actually coach and educate people on your journey and what it takes to do what you do. And that's how you can kind of monetize that and create that community. Also, just being a friendly face and networking and putting your face next to your brand and making sure everybody knows exactly what you're doing and whatever service you provide. Whenever they think of that service, they think of your face and they see your name. That's the number one. That's what I would do if I were creating more of a community based, and constantly being the light for people around you, being in your authentic energy and constantly pushing your brand, whether it's word of mouth in person or on social media. Gia gets on me all the time. She's going to laugh and probably kill me because I don't post enough. I feel like I post enough, but I know I don't. But posting is so important. I mean, with social media, the way it's run today, it's the fastest and quickest way to get outreach. I mean, when I first started my credit business, I remember I reached out to, I want to say 180 people off rip, and just copied and pasted the same text. Hey, like, if you know anybody that's looking to fix their credit, I own my own credit repair business. I'd be more than happy to help. Here's my contact information if you or anybody that you know needs credit repair. And I just blasted as many people as I could on social media. And you don't be afraid to do the same. Don't be afraid to be annoying and be the first bubble that pops up on people's page when they're looking at stories. That's what I would do.
Thank you. I appreciate
Of
that.
course.
I see you're posting like I think you post a great amount and I love it. Like I live for it, honestly. And I think that's like one of my biggest things is like I need to start posting more and just kind of like putting my face out there, putting that like I'm awful with that. So I appreciate that. And I see the comments too. I thank you for everybody that commented as well. Thanks. I will definitely
Yeah.
look into joining that because that is helpful. And I just feel like that's my biggest thing is networking with people. And I would love to coach people. I just closed my cleaning business and now I'm looking to starting like a mindset business where I
Mhm.
really work with women. And I love how you mentioned that, like your big why was your younger self because I really feel that like I want to help people so badly because it like that's what I wanted when I was younger was help, you know.
Yeah,
So I feel like that's great. Thank you
absolutely.
so much.
Of course, I love that, and I really do wish you the utmost success and peace on your journey, and I know you can do it. You just got to connect. Something my dad has always told me since I was a kid, and I didn't understand it until I was older. He was like, if you can connect, and he did this, your mind and your heart, you can do anything in the world. So I will leave you with that, but I will answer any other questions that anybody else has.
Thank you.
I have a question, but I don't know if it's even in your wheelhouse. But so I have a lot of, I would say, like buyers, sellers, people who are looking, but a lot of them in my area, for whatever reason, I seem to attract a lot of like divorced couples.
That'll do it.
Um, yeah, yeah. And I have a really hard time getting them the funding for what they need, like moving forward. But it's also, I don't know even if that would be anything that you would be able to help with, or if it's more like that's just something that you literally can't really
What are they looking for funding? Like
hide.
what kind of funding?
Like for real estate, like if you're getting divorced, they'll try to go through a process to like, and just if things aren't being sorted or they don't have the right like papers on the back end or things pop up on credit where you have more than one person's name on it, like a lot of things like that just really hold them back from moving forward in any type of process, whether it's from like a bank, brokerage, whatnot.
Hmm.
But
I can speak on behalf of one of actually my mom. She was still tied to an account with my father and he just missed a payment and it tanked her score. So I have her through my credit repair. And it's removing those, joint accounts if you do have them or, if they won't take you off as an authorized user or vice versa, you can just close the account completely and get it off your report so it doesn't affect your score any longer. And if they're looking for funding, that's the best way to do it is through credit repair to remove those things. And then, building that profile up in order to get funding.
is that something where, like, can you do what you do with people outside of Massachusetts?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
I have connects in Florida. I can do it pretty much anywhere. All across the United States, just not internationally yet.
oh, okay,
So
that's fine. So like, let's say I have a client I'm working with. I like exhaust all my options here. If I were to like connect them with you, you can do that.
yes, correct.
Okay, cool.
I'm working with a client right now in Texas and he's looking for just around 22 million in funding and we're coming up with a big game plan for him right now. So it's possible anywhere in the United States.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Of course. And feel free to text me after too, and maybe put me in a group chat with your client and we can come up with a game plan and I can see what her goals are.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's actually my it's my parents.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, they
We can
so it
do
would be
that.
really helpful. And I've been asking like everyone around here. Honestly, there's not I I won't say there's not. There are options, but some of them are more just I always feel better if I know them or know people that have worked with them. It just helps. Like helps me refer people if I
Yeah.
can actually speak to like what they're doing versus hey, I don't know anything about this, but if you want to like call these numbers.
Yeah, I can give you the rundown on how the whole like the nitty-gritties of the whole process and see um or you can just put me on a three-way call with you guys and we can talk about it. And I can come
Makes
up with a
sense.
game plan and just take some notes,
Yeah,
once
that'd
you
be
know what the
amazing.
situation is. Yeah, we can definitely do that. So,
All right, sweet. Thank you.
of course. Right. Anybody else have any other questions?
You
If
have questions
not,
after the fact, you know where to find Meg. This was amazing. Thank you so much for your time and your
thank
energy
you.
and all of your different solutions for all these different women that have different goals. I love it.
Thank you guys so much for having me and listening to everything and all the value I gave. If you have any other questions or looking for any of my services, feel free to reach out to me via phone or email or IG. Please follow me on IG. I'd love to follow you guys back and chat with you guys and stay connected. So, with that being said, I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your night, and I look forward to connecting with you guys.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.